Alright, hello there, Marcus Kilvington here from Food Profits with David Moore here today, who's been in the restaurant business. Well, I'll let David tell you a little bit about that in a minute, Sue, but runs 2 Michelin star restaurants in London. And you were saying to me you started the restaurant business, when was that, David?
In 1986, I was a waiter at the Le Manoir straight out of college in Blackpool.
Fantastic. And you run 2 Michelin star restaurants, and
Yep.
you're on television back in, was it 2009 with
Even more recently, I do get invited on MasterChef. So I've done every series of MasterChef Professionals as a restaurateur critic, and the restaurant series with Raymond, 2 series of that, and yeah, pop up here and there.
Do you enjoy being on TV?
I was surprised how much fun I had.
Good.
Yeah, and then obviously afterwards, all the jokes that everyone thinks I'm actually Heston.
Well, I've met Heston, and I suppose there's a slight similarity, isn't there, but only tiny. Now, one of your passions, I've just watched you for the best part of 45 minutes, and some fabulous stuff. And I'm always sort of trying to educate people, like I know you are, to how to do better and give what I describe as a wow customer experience. You're very much into attention to detail, aren't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's where it's at. The devil is in the detail, and that saying didn't come around for no reason. And it's detail, 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 and it's the tiny details that matter. It's the fact that the menus all face that way on every table, that the salt and pepper is ordered, and that you've got your system, because that creates a sense of confidence from your customers when they come in and they see this sense of order.
Yes.
And that comes from the detail.
Yes. And I think I read somewhere that you have what I would describe as a passion for service.
Well, I'm front of house, and I like to do a good job.
Yeah.
And so I want us to do the best that we can every day, and that works throughout the whole team. You know, the restaurant managers and the whole team, they want to give their best every day.
I think that's a great philosophy, and what's really great for me about that, and having watched you for 45 minutes already today, I would suggest that you're probably quite into people and psychology and having like an awareness about people. Would that be right?
Yes, I think I have a very good eye in the restaurant for noticing what's going right and what's going wrong. And it's what I try to tell the waiters, make sure they know that if that whole thing about the husband and wife not talking,
Yeah.
but it's so true, that they will become difficult, because if you're late with something, if it's going wrong, you have to prioritise them, and you know, things shouldn't go wrong, but they will, and it's how you handle it. But making sure that the staff are switched on and that they see the tricky customers coming through the door, and it's often the ones who just aren't talking to each other.
Absolutely, that's a really, really good point. Now, I know you were very, very into training for obvious reasons, but what I find in my experience, and I don't know whether you'd reiterate this or not, but a lot of catering business owners actually don't take training very seriously.
No, I think they think that it's like turn up and serve to the left or serve to the right, and you must hold the bottle like this. I think all of that's very, very secondary. That's the nuts and bolts of running a restaurant.
Right.
And I wouldn't feel that I was badly served if all of a sudden a waiter was serving me from the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side. What I would be more worried about is how they talk to me, the language that they use.
Yes.
And is it okay? No, it's not okay. I don't want to hear waiters asking me, is it okay? Ask me a real question. Have I enjoyed my meal? Yeah. Are you enjoying your lunch? How is your main course? Don't come up and say, okay. So the one thing I say, okay is just not okay.
I like that, it's good.
You'll be using that one.
I will be using that one, absolutely. That's great that you're into language, because I mean, language has got a very emotiveness about it, hasn't it?
People will pull from their experience. What I like to do is to give a sharp answer. So I mentioned earlier in the what was it, interview,
Yes.
about giving a chef a sharp knife, giving the waiter a sharp answer is the same thing as giving a chef a sharp knife. So he gets the answer right with the right language, which is touchstones of your business, your values. And it's about not saying that something's okay. It's about saying, I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. Oh, that's interesting. That's something to bear in mind. Giving people, waiters will get caught in situations where they won't know what to say. And I always think, tell the customer that's interesting, because nobody will frown upon that. It doesn't matter if you're not saying it's right or it's wrong. You're just saying, oh, that's interesting. And then the customer's feeling a little bit kind of pleased with himself and he's come up with something that's interesting.
Yes.
So that's about the language is the language that you, as a business person, want to hear on the floor of your restaurant.
Yes.
Using phrases or not using phrases.
Yes, and you obviously train people in phrases then, and the language to use within your restaurants.
Well, that's something that we do try to do.
Yeah, which I think is fabulous to hear that from you, because a lot of people don't do that.
Doesn't always work. I recently heard one of our members of staff say, replying to, "Oh, you were a bit stressed tonight. Didn't really enjoy the meal." Says, "Oh, well, we were very busy," which is not the answer.
Yes.
No, there's a couple of answers, but that's not the one.
No, it's not, is it?
No, because it didn't start with sorry.
You said that, I remember earlier, yeah, sorry, a lot of people don't use the sorry word, but actually it's a very, very powerful thing to do, isn't it? Yeah. The other thing I've got to ask you about, because I loved this earlier as well, is you talked about employing nice people.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why do you think? I mean, that is actually my philosophy as well.
It seems to work. If you, nice people don't tend to have the attitude. Mm-hmm. And that's the last thing that you want is any ego or attitude. It's all about pleasing the customer.
Sure.
They're paying our bill.
Yes.
They're paying the wages. And nice people just seem to get it. They want to do a good job and they take on board the training and they work hard.
Yeah.
So now I'm less concerned about someone's skills because that's something that you can teach them. Mm-hmm. It's difficult to knock the attitude out of somebody.
Yes.
If they're a snooty little git when they arrive for the interview, they're probably going to be a snooty little git on the restaurant floor. So let them go elsewhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Absolutely, yeah. And am I right also in saying that one of your kind of little hobby horses, if you like, is waiters' lack of knowledge or waitresses' lack of knowledge when they're actually delivering a meal, and the customer might ask where the chickens come from or the sea bass is line caught or is it
farmed? Know your menu, but that's like going to a garage and the Mercedes salesman not knowing what size engine's in the SLR.
Yes.
Is it 6 valves or 12 valve? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, what difference does a 6 valve or 12 valve? I don't know. Where do you see bass from? I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really give an air of confidence, does it?
It's not engaging and it's not making for a customer a memorable customer experience, which is something that Anne had mentioned earlier.
And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? It is about memorable customer experience or great memories, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous information, really, really useful. Just 2 or 3 things that you'd tell any catering food business owner that they might be able to do, apart from training, because that's one of my... absolutely, carry on. Because obviously one of your passions is training, one of my passions is training, which is what we do. And often I think there's a reluctance often for a catering food business owner to actually, whether it's train themselves or get their knowledge and expand their knowledge, and you've talked about this all day today, or actually get the staff to be more empowered and also gain knowledge.
Something that we can all do is just think about our business. And I was really so inspired by the Olympics, and that people getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning before their day job or whatever to swim 5 or 6 miles to take 100th of a second off, and that is what gets them the gold medal. And if we want a gold medal in customer service, we just have to think what those 100th of seconds are. I think language skills are one that's very important.
Yes.
So we ban all the French and Italian staff from speaking French and Italian. They have to speak English amongst each other, which improves their English and gives a better customer experience. That thing about the reception asking, is there anything we should know? Is it a special occasion? Sometimes you find out something like, it's actually a business meeting and we've only got an hour, which is what you want to find out before they arrive, as opposed to when they're half an hour into their meal. So 100ths of seconds, where can we get 100th of a second off our performance today?
Fantastic. So at the end of the day, it's being the best you can be, isn't it, really? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Today. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, David.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.